thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, and I appreciate everybody joining in to watch the talk. All right, so I'm gonna share my presentation 1 second, or share my screen, because we're gonna be doing kind of a bit of a demo along with what's here. Okay, so I'm Alex Bliskavka. I do security operations for Williams. That's all that I really can say about myself. If you want to know more, look me up on LinkedIn. Okay, so my talk, script your phishing mailbox process with PowerShell and Office 365. Really, it's 30 minutes isn't enough. We're just getting started, getting our feet wet, showing you what's possible. Okay, so what do I mean by phishing mailbox? Okay, it's you get emails that come into your secure email gateway. They get filtered. They get to the users. The users, well, stuff gets through. So they report it to security. Security then has to analyze it. And so the whole point of the talk is let's help that guy out, whoever or gal is working on reviewing those phishing items. Okay, let's get some stats just so you can feel a little bit of the pain that that particular individual has to deal with. Over the last 30 days, we have processed 2,281 total messages that were submitted to the phishing mailbox. Of those, 941, and actually the second option, also, sorry, one moment, that 372 under auto triage, that's all spam messages. It's just the auto triage category is specific to duplicate spam messages that were already found by a script in the spam folder and then migrated. So you have one individual sending a whole bunch of messages to a whole list of users, and you get like 30 copies of the same message just from different recipients. And then like actual phishing messages that we found in there were about 82 out of 2,281. So there's a lot of clutter. There's a lot of other stuff that the analyst has to look through. And that can honestly be very draining, especially when you're seeing 311 reports about a benefits update in the last month and having to explain to users that this is legitimate, this is a benefits update, it's okay. So, and 239 other legitimate emails. So let's get into the good stuff. First off, just a couple quick resources. There's the PowershellGallery.com. It's just a website that Microsoft hosts where people have uploaded their PowerShell scripts and just share them for the public. So that's a good resource to just poke around, see what's out there, get a script that's already working and just let you tweak it. I also wanted to mention this second option. I'm just going to tab over to it. If you will just search PowerShell Learning in DuckDuckGo or Google or whatever your search engine of preference is, Microsoft has a whole section devoted to just explaining and teaching PowerShell. So they've got a blog. The Hey Scripting Guy one has been really beneficial to me in kind of my journey. There's videos. If you want a textbook, they have a whole textbook uploaded in here for your reading pleasure. If you don't care for that, then again, YouTube or whatever your method of choice is, it's all available. But this is here, it's free, it's developed by Microsoft or in working with Microsoft. So that's available for you if you want to learn more about PowerShell. Up next, another resource that you want to be aware of is the get member commandlet. If you have any kind of object, anything in a variable, you could pipe it using this little little pipe symbol to get member, and you can get a type name for it. If you have a type name, then you can look up Microsoft's very wonderful class definitions page. So you can see here, I've piped a mail object. It's an email in PowerShell to get member. It's part of the email message class, and I can see everything I can do or call on that particular message. So I can see date time created, date time received. I can see flags associated with it. I can see who it's from. I can download attachments from it if it has an attachment. So lots and lots of options for working and messing with a particular email. Another side note is Exchange Web Services, the API that you would be downloading and using to do this sort of thing, has many other options dealing with Office 365. You can see over here on the left-hand side, not just limited to email. You could be messing with calendar entries, contacts, reminders, all sorts of stuff in here. So that's, if you're interested in that sort of thing, it's available. But for our talk, we're going to mess a little bit with email. So, whoop, wrong. Okay. Next, here's just a quick, you can hook into the Outlook client to go ahead and manipulate email in the Outlook client. However, that's not suggested, it's buggy. I've found that sometimes just random variables lose track of the objects that you've put into them. So it's better not to use this method. But if it's what is available to you, then feel free to get in there, get started. It also limits it to just what's on your computer. You don't have to get permission from somebody. You don't have to connect to Office 365. You don't need extra permissions. Up next is the Exchange Web Services client. It's a quick download, install. There's a wizard. You just go through it. We've got the link here. I've also shared this presentation on LinkedIn. I've also got a GitHub repo that I'll drop it into and share the link in the chat. So again, I'm just going to skip past this code. We're going to look at it later. Really, it's just you're downloading the client. You're telling the PowerShell where to look for the client. You're telling it to load the methods in the client. And then you're starting to access some of those methods. You're calling a service. You're telling the service to point to Office 365. You're creating a credential for it so that you can authenticate to Office 365. And then we can get started doing some stuff with that. So again, I've already talked about this. If you use Get Member, you can see what you're playing with and all the different options on how you can affect it. Up next, here's some suggestions, some things we're using it for. You can do whatever you can dream of, and if it's possible in PowerShell, of course. So right now, what we're doing is we are scanning our phishing mailbox with just an index of any email that has already been reviewed by an analyst and dropped into our spam category folder. Anything that matches with a duplicate subject, we're automatically clearing out of, well, actually every 10 minutes, we're clearing it out of the inbox. So we're reducing rework so that the analyst can focus on new messages. You could also, there are response methods available from the mail message object. So you can send auto replies based on where that object is located. So if there's an email that's been dropped in spam, every 10 minutes or so, you can have a script go in there, pull all the emails that have been put in there for the last 10 minutes and respond with a message. So this has been classified as spam. It responds back with, hey, this isn't unsafe. It's just spam, maybe undesirable, but it's okay to handle it. And then you can do the same thing for legitimate messages with a subfolder for legitimate email or for phishes or what have you. You can also use some regex to, again, check the email headers for, say, it's tax time and you know which server is sending your W-2 notifications from. You can make a little script that will look at emails, look for regex header that has the email server address that you'll be getting those from, and you can do auto responses. We're actually not using it for that now. We'd like to, or I'd like to. It might be very convenient. Again, also, you can, if you use like an email link proxy, like we use Proofpoint Tap, you can look for and strip out the URL rewriting so that the analyst doesn't have to go into the Tap portal or whatever portal you're using, convert the link, and then do analysis. You can just do it all from PowerShell. and all from one place. So let's get into PowerShell ICE, the IDE, and let's do a couple of little demos or exercises. So I've essentially just copied and pasted the code from the EWS Exchange Web Services slide right here. So the next section is new, but that's just a copy. I've already got my credential in here. I'm not gonna re-enter it for you guys. So even though it's hidden in all that, but I'm gonna skip that part. So up next, we want to declare the folder we're going to be accessing. So there's this mailbox variable. I just got our phishing mailbox in there. And then the well-known folder name is the inbox or the calendar or the deleted items. Any new folders, you're gonna have to do a search for. That's actually what I'm doing here. I'm looking for up to 30 folders within using the find folders method of the EWS service. And so actually I'm gonna execute that. So here we go, executing. Okay, so that doesn't show anything, but in the background, it's communicating, retrieving the folders or generating the views that will help me to retrieve the folders. And then for your viewing pleasure, phishing, hang on, what's the name of that? Phishing inbox folders. Did I not declare that yet? My bad. Okay. So service credentials, okay. And one moment. I do have a little more code right here for that sort of thing. Actually, I'm gonna call this, and then I need to put it back in there and correct it. So I'm gonna call that. We're looking for a folder in the using the service and its connection to the inbox where the display name is test. So we're assigning that to a variable, and I don't have a parent folder ID or folder ID. Wonderful. Okay, let me call this. I swear I tested this before. It was working. Okay. So again, wow, okay, I'm gonna purge this and then run it from scratch. So I'm clearing my variables, starting over, and then this is running against my mailbox now, so I can't get your count or a fresh count of what's in my email, but that's okay. So the option I commented out earlier is prompting me for a login. Okay, here we go. And then once again, I'm gonna execute these. This is the point of this particular one is to grab a particular message and play with it a little bit. So, all right, I've essentially looked in the phishing inbox for all of its items using the find items method, and I've looked for an object that is titled BSides test. So, and then I've expanded the property set. So you'll have a subject, you'll have recipient, you'll have sent, but if you don't define a property set, you won't be able to get headers or the message text. So here's my mail message. It's just spits out all the good stuff, all the information. You've got HTML formatting in here. So if you're gonna pull that out and like put it into a digest or something, you're gonna have to strip that HTML out of it. You've got message headers right there, if that's what you want. You also have a internet message ID, so that if you want to like go back and fiddle with the message, you can do that by designating its ID. So I want to send you or show you the body of the message. Since it's a rich text message or HTML, then there's a There's a text body variable, but you can't call it, you want to call the body.text. So here I've got a message where I forward it for myself because I accidentally sent it to my personal email. And then, yeah, I've got that data. But I've got the subject right here. So there we go. I'm actually gonna try to change the subject. So let me do that, equals, and doing this, caps lock, doing this live, yay, okay. And you actually have to update that. Well, it wants to know how it's going to process errors if there's a conflict. So I responded true to whatever that response is going to be. So mail message.subject is doing this live. For your wonderful viewing pleasure, I created a subfolder called test, where we're going to drop that message into, and you can see that the subject is different. So mail message dot, well, first I need to hook the folder. So I need to declare a folder view. So tell the service to look for the folder. So there we go. And then I need to do the actual method of looking. And then I can go back to my mail message. I can call move. And then I call my test folder.id. Oh, yep. And you can look up what's required to call the method. So if I look for move, so you need move and folder ID. Otherwise, it's going to throw an error, but I've already seen the error. So anyway, so I've got the folder, I've got the folder ID, I'm going to call it, great, I got a response, not an error. And then I'm going to toggle over to Outlook, and there you go. We've got an email. The email is no longer the subject that it was. It is now my custom subject. So if you want to, I don't know, leave nasty messages for people in working the phishing mailbox, you can do that too. You can say mail message dot subject equals this is still pending. So you're going to have, I mean, we just leave them unread until we work them. But if you're going to have some automated actions running on those messages, you're going to want to update the subject, or you can even update the body of the message where you actually show some output. And then same process that I did earlier. I'm just going to call update. Well, okay, I need to read that mail folder and the items again, so I can modify and pass that particular message back to it. But say you just want to call some activity on the test folder, you can do that from here, test folder dot items. Well, it's actually test folder dot find items. Up to 100, sorry. There you go. And any items you've got in there are going to show up. You do actually have to call the service to be able to modify them. So you can't just tinker with just the folder because it's a temporary object on your computer, not actually what's out there. I'm actually going to go back to this one where we're going to tinker some more with the folders that we have there. So I've already declared a folder view. I need to get the folders. So one moment. Let's see, we got about 15 minutes left. Okay. Unfortunate that I did not prepare this better for you. Okay, so phishing inbox, we want to find folders, not find items. And that's misspelled. And I'm going to call that now. Okay, so, and actually I forgot to null that so that I don't have junk in there. And then let me call that again. So I can get a total count for you, see how many folders I've got in there. It's pointing to my inbox, so that's not very much, but let me see what shows up. So I've got conversation history, and I've got that test subfolder. If I was going to do, let me call this, where I'm calling my, not my email inbox, but the inbox that I have access to. And again, I'm gonna upload these for you guys or gals, so you know what it looks like. Let me make sure I've got that in there. Mail address. Nope, I don't have anything in mailbox address. Change this. Let me declare that. So, but the point is, I'm just messing around in here now, but there's a lot you can do with PowerShell, messing around with messages, folders. You can get counts, you can move things around, you can modify it. You can do analysis on it if you want. So we got folder ID, that's the message right there. And then I'm going to look for the folders. Where are my folders? Okay, so I'm going to look for phishing inbox. That should have my find folders. Okay, maybe we're somewhere now. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, so anyway, phishing inbox dot total count. We've got a whole bunch of folders in here. I want to show you the subjects of them or the name. Select object where it's display name. I shouldn't have called total count. My bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I can show you. We're running out of time.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got to get my next guy in.
No problem.
I'm very grateful to you, sir. That's awesome stuff. We are going to have that material available. You said you have a LinkedIn and you have a GitHub, and we'll make sure that those are both available to our audience.
That sounds great. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody,
Alex,
for your time.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
All right. You as well, sir.
Thank you.
And bear with me just a moment while we change out for our next sponsor presentation.
I know you want to hide your face. Sweeney, I gotta tell you, you're a terrible cameraman. Can we make a goat?
Mr. Price, are you ready, sir?
I am.
Allison, thank you. I see your screen is sharing, so I'm going to go ahead and begin our presentation. For track 3, we want to, this is one of our vendors, Cient Associates, has been a staunch supporter of B-Sides Oklahoma. In fact, they're taking care of our Zoom, and they're helping us take care of our sponsorship this year. So thank you to Mr. Jeremy Price for joining us. And, Mr. Price, would you like to tell us a little bit about Cient Associates?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. First of all, we just want to definitely say thank you to B-Sides, all the sponsors, and especially the organizers. You guys have done a really amazing job. Jordan was really good this morning in his keynote. And, it's just really great to see the community be able to come together with these difficult times. Moving this to virtual, I know was a lot of work. Chris Wall, who's one of the organizers, works with Cient, and I've seen all the tremendous work that you guys have put into it, and I just really applaud you guys for that. It's been a really good experience so far, and looking forward to all the sessions in the afternoon. So, real quick, I want to give you kind of a background on Cient Associates. My name again is Jeremy Price. Many of you in the Tulsa area at least are familiar with Cient Associates, but for those that are not, we're a professional services firm. We were started in around 2001. We're very proud of the fact that we are a certified women business enterprise based here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We also have offices in Denver, Oklahoma City, Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston. So we service a lot of energy clients. That's kind of the energy corridor, if you will, from north to south. But we do offer a wide array of services. Some of the examples might include internal audit, Sarbanes-Oxley, vendor risk management, business continuity, and disaster recovery. But most importantly, what you guys probably all care about is our data privacy and cybersecurity services. So, recently we began growing our cybersecurity portfolio. We've been doing cybersecurity for 14, 15 years at Cient, but it's really ramped up a lot, I'd say, in the last 6 years. And just recently we've begun including red team security testing as part of that portfolio. So I'm going to jump to the next slide. This just gives you kind of an idea. It's just a snapshot. You can only fit so many logos on a page, but some of the clients of ours that we've been providing professional advisory services to in the data privacy and cybersecurity realm. We've got obviously some clients that don't allow us to publish their logos. So it's definitely a larger clientele than this, but this just gives you an idea of some of the large corporations that we work with. We've got, one of the folks listed on here is even in the Fortune 50. So we do very large projects down to very small projects. We just wrapped up a project not too long ago that was well over 1,000 hours. So we've got a breadth of knowledge within Cient that allows us to bring a unique perspective to cybersecurity, data privacy, and even reaching over into like business process, accounting functions, and things of that nature. So I know there's a lot on this slide and it's kind of small print, but as you can see, this lists out some of the technology services specifically that Cient is engaged in with our clients. We were born out of the internal audit type shop. So we're very good at controls. Controls are really the heart at what Cient builds everything off of. So, we understand risk assessments. That's in our blood. We're very good at IT general control assessments. We can do cybersecurity reviews, business continuity, and disaster recovery. We've got over 14 people that are certified in business continuity and disaster recovery in the firm. We can dig into things such as HIPAA, cloud security assessments, IT governance, policies, procedures. And like I said, we've just got a wide array of individuals at Cient with over 100 folks on the team, ranging from accounting, business process. We've got engineers, and speaking from more like a mechanical engineer perspective, people that understand the oil and gas industry deeply. We just spent some time with our industrial control specialists out, following the pipeline supply chain or the oil and gas supply chain from wellhead all the way to delivery of liquid natural gas onto ships in the Gulf. So we can look at PLCs. We can do a ton of different types of services for your organization. But as I mentioned, we also have gotten a little bit deeper into kind of that red team aspect. And this is one of the things that we're most excited about. Chris Wall, who's participating in a couple of the talks and is one of the organizers, is with Cient. And he really brought us to another level with his knowledge of both network penetration testing as well as dynamic and static application security testing. So now Cient has the full capabilities to provide any of those red team type exercises. We've got experts in firewalls, many certifications within our group. And our Stennett team is about 20 to, I guess we're about 23 strong within the IT audit / professional services group. So we would love to speak to anybody that would like to learn more about Stennett and what we can provide for you. Again, we're very honored to be a sponsor today. I don't want to take up anybody else's time. I know that you guys probably want to grab some of that Uber lunch. So I do appreciate you taking the time to listen to a little bit about Stennett. Feel free to reach out to us. You can go to stennett-associates.com to get more information. And again, thank you, B-Sides. This has so far been a really great experience. One of the first full virtual conferences I've attended. With that, I will turn it back over.